Today's topic is perpendicular lines in the coordinate plane. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Sometimes this is known as the negative reciprocal. So you'll hear those two terms interchanged, opposite reciprocal and negative reciprocal. The slopes of two perpendicular lines have a product of -1. So for example, if you have a line with a slope of 5, and you want to find the slope of a line perpendicular to it, if you take the negative reciprocal of 5, well, you start by taking 5 and putting it over 1. You take the reciprocal, which of course means turning it upside down basically, and then change the sign. So the negative reciprocal is -1/5, and this is the slope of the perpendicular line. If you took the product of the slope of your original line of 5 and the slope of the perpendicular line, so 5 times -1/5, you would get the product of -1 for your answer, just like what we stated in the beginning. So, say for instance, you start off with a line that has a slope of 2/3, and you want to find the slope of the line perpendicular to it. You take the negative reciprocal, so you're going to basically turn it upside down and change the sign. Okay, so this is the slope of the perpendicular line. Now, we want to know, are these lines perpendicular? Or any of them? Well, what's the slope of this first one? Notice this is in the form y = mx plus b. So the slope is going to be 3/4. This next one, y = -4/3 x minus 3. The slope is -4/3. Are those slopes negative reciprocals of each other? So yes, they are. So these lines are indeed perpendicular. Now this next group of lines, notice these are not in slope-intercept form. So we do want to get them into the form y = mx plus b, so we can easily recognize the slope of each line. So to get this first one into y = mx plus b, you're going to subtract 4x from each side. You're solving for y here, so you're going to have 5y = -4x plus 2. Divide everything you see here by 5 every term. So we end up with -4/5 x plus 2/5. So the slope of this line is -4/5. Now, the next line, we need to get that into slope-intercept form, so we'll solve it for y. So we subtract 5x from each side, and we have 5y = -5x plus 3. Divide every term by 4, and we end up with y = -5/4 x plus 3/4. So the slope of this line is -5/4. Now the question is, are these slopes negative reciprocals of each other? And no, they're close. They are reciprocals, but not negative or opposite reciprocals, because they both have the same sign. They need to have opposite signs. So we're going to say that these are not perpendicular. Let's move on to the next page. This is on writing equations of perpendicular lines. Write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the graph of y = -2x plus 1 and passes through the point 4/5. Well, this line has a slope of -2. We need to find the slope of a line perpendicular to it. So to find the slope of the new line, we have to take the negative reciprocal or the opposite reciprocal. Well, we can write this slope as -2/1. When we take the opposite or negative reciprocal, we flip that over, but we change the sign. So the new line has a slope, I'm going to call it m, of 1/2. We already know it passes through the point 4, 5, so we're going to call that x1, y1. And as you'll recall from the previous lesson, we use our point-slope form of a straight line to actually find the equation of this new line. Let's plug in our values. So we're going to have y minus y1, which is 5, equals m, which is 1/2, times x minus x1, which is 4. Let's distribute. To get rid of the parentheses, so we have 1/2 x minus 2. And we still have y minus 5 on the left. We need to solve for y, so we add 5 to each side, and we end up with y equals 1/2 x plus 3. And there is the equation of our new line. Moving on to the next page. Write the equation of the line that is perpendicular to the graph of y equals 3/2 x plus 3 and passes through the point -2, 0. Now the slope of this particular line is 3/2, and we need to find the slope of our new line. Now it's perpendicular, so we'll have to take the opposite or negative reciprocal of 3/2. Well, we flip over the fraction, so it becomes 2/3, and change the sign so it's going to be negative. So our new slope is m equals -2/3. We know that it passes through the point -2, 0, so we'll label that x1, y1. And now we'll use the point-slope form to find the equation of our new line. That's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Plugging our numbers in, we have y minus 0 equals -2/3 times x minus -2. The two negatives together become positives, and y minus 0 on the left is just y. Now we're going to use the distributive property to get rid of the parentheses. So we have y equals -2/3 x minus 4/3. And there is the equation of our new line. That's all for today.